So, in a sad day to every single Paige Bueckers fan out there, Arike Ogunbowale, who is their most hated player. So remember how much Arike, celebrated being a part of the Dallas Wings, celebrated everything. Celebrate Paige being a part of Dallas Wings, was so hyped, and then Arike went and had her worst season ever. Caitlin's Arike basically looked like Caitlin turned a player who was considered to be a inferior Arike into the best shooting guard in the WNBA. Paige Bueckers turned Arike into a shadow of herself, and I'm going to be real here. It's one of those things where you've now got the Paige fans mocking her to leave in the expansion draft. And if you guys haven't seen right here, according to Jose Fernandez, it does sound like Arike is going to be there. Obviously, Wings seem ready to hand the keys to the franchise over to rookie phenom Paige Bueckers. Even during the season, there were rumblings around a potential trade that would send Ogunbowale to a new team for draft assets or a young player to fit Bueckers' timeline, much like the Wings did with Dejanay. I don't think anyone wanted Arike. Second of all, I think the Wings drastically overvalue Arike. The Wings value Arike probably more than they value Satu. And also, I just want to make this a very clear point. Arike Ogunbowale was an All-NBA team member on a team who was the 4th seed in 2023. That was not that long ago. It was not that long ago. 2 seasons before, the new fan base wanted her gone. She was that. So, obviously, Wings maybe not as on board the idea, because a lot of people have her going in the expansion draft. Jose Fernandez appeared on the latest episode, in case he missed it, with Christina Williams, and very much seems to be playing for a win roster that had Arike Ogunbowale. Jose Fernandez is prepared to coach Paige and Arike. Wings fans have heard a lot in recent years. Things are about to change. This new head coach will usher a new era, lead the Wings to some postseason success. Why are we talking about the Wings like they're incompetent? They nearly made the finals 2 years ago. It's like saying, I don't know, I'm just trying to think who's really good right now that hasn't made a finals. The Seattle Storm. The Seattle Storm in 2020, because they had a really good 2022 season. They had a really bad 2023 season because Steward retired and Stewie left. And it's like saying, it's a new era for Seattle Storm. It's like, we're going to have success. You had 1 bad season. If you're the Wings, you had 2 bad seasons. So you have someone like Arike who's been an all-star leading scorer in the Wings organization. Fernandez said, what's left for Arike to do here in Dallas is win a championship. Later on, Paige and Arike are exceptional guards and create off the bounce. They can both shoot the 3. They can get to the free throw line. It's them understanding how they're going to be utilized. And there's got to be great communication between me and myself and both of them where they feel comfortable on the floor. The success we had at South Florida, our best players got the most touches. A lot of players were run for them, and that's not going to change here in Dallas, which is a positive thing. Ironically, not what Paige is used to at UConn. It's not that UConn offense. It's not that equal opportunities bullshit. They're going to be running plays. The reality is that if you are running plays for Paige Bueckers is playing off the ball. And the likelihood is, if it's Paige and Arike, is that they're not, if they plan, I wonder what they're going to do. Because if you're keeping Arike, it makes no sense to draft Daisy Foot at all. They could be bringing their number 1 pick off the bench, which is kind of crazy. Someone said whatever the choice is not up to him. GM Kurt Miller will play a role in deciding whether or not the Wings try to re-sign Ogunbowale. The most important factor is, of course, Ogunbowale herself. She makes it feel it's time for a new chapter. Yeah, I don't think Arike is going to want to leave. She's been in Dallas the whole time. And I think she's going to want to win. I think she thinks she probably has a chance of winning in Dallas. She was injured last year. It is what it is. But I'm sorry, Paige fans are not. I've seen a couple of the responses to this. The Paige fans are not happy at all. They are not happy at all about this. There are no group of people that as much as anyone wants to say, it's the Paige fans might hate Arike as much as Fever fans hate Breanna. And all that Arike did was miss some shots. That was her crime. Her crime is that she missed shots. But yeah, it's it is an interesting one anyway. But it is a very, very funny one to see. So, let's see what like what they have to do. And it's so funny looking at there are literally Paige Bueckers stan pages that are coming out there saying that the reason why Paige Bueckers didn't succeed last season is that she needs to play alongside a shot creating guard, and the Dallas Wings need to get rid of Arike, who's the worst player in the league. Like, Paige doesn't have any guards that can create. And I'm like, that's literally all Arike does. It's the only thing Arike does. Arike, by the way, is 4th all time in career points per game, and she's 29. She's in her 20s, and she's 4th all time in points per game in the WNBA. But it is a really interesting thing. It is a really, really interesting thing to see. And it's going to be a funny one. It's going to be a funny one. And to be fair, the Paige Bueckers fans are they are some of the funniest people online. Is that they would rather see Paige Bueckers sit on a bench. They'd rather see both Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers sit at the end of the bench if Paige gets 1 minute more than Caitlin Clark for Team USA than have Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark start together like they should be. But yeah, it's a mad old situation. But it looks like Arike, they want to keep Arike. The coach wants to keep Arike. And I will say this, like, if you want to keep Arike, I think you can probably make it work. You need a good coach. But if you want to make it work with Arike and Paige Bueckers, you need to do whatever you can to bring in a Julie Alamont type player. It doesn't have to be Julie Alamont. Or you need to go pull in Grace Berger and be like, you need to shoot the ball again. And you know what your job is? Play defense. You pass the ball left, you pass the ball right. When you get the ball, if you have 10 feet of space, you shoot it wide open. If not, you're passing the fucking ball to Paige first. And if it doesn't work out, then you pass the ball to Arike. Like, your job is to literally just pass the ball to those two players. But if Paige and Arike are there, you can't really start easy. Otherwise, Paige Bueckers turns into like the super great Grace Berger with like basically the way Grace Berger played. It's one of those things where it's like the way Grace Berger played. If you have Arike and Azzi, if you want them to touch the ball at all, Paige is going to have to play almost like Grace Berger, where her job is to pass the ball to Arike and pass the ball to Azzi, which you don't want either. You don't want Paige Bueckers not playing her game. So it is a real interesting one. If you keep Arike, the assumption is you're probably going to draft Awafam, who has all that potential and who can play with a whack, because you're probably going to fucking lose a whack in the expansion draft. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.